Hello and welcome to my channel, Create and Relax. I hope that you will enjoy watching me create, that you will relax. I hope that I will relax. I do find this relaxing, so that is why we're all here. Let's get on with it. Here is going to be my journal page for today. I intend it to be a journal page that I can write a journal entry onto as opposed to a full art journal page. So I thought today, rather than just kind of stick things around the edge like I usually do, I would do something a bit different. I've got this nice vellum stuff which came from a lovely big box of chocolates that a very good friend of mine bought for me. Shout out Karen when you see this. Thanks, mate. So I'm going to use that to make a pocket of some sort. And then, I don't know about you, sometimes I struggle to know what to do with these big images. This is from a 12 by 12 book of the Stamperia Chocolate and Coffee scrapbooking paper. Great images, but when it comes to these big things, yeah, you can cut them out and use them, but they're quite big. So what I thought I would do is make a giant tag to put in my pocket, and it can be a journaling card. I'm going to have to stick this onto something a bit stiffer because it's a little bit flimsy to make a tag out of. So that is what I'll be doing, and some kind of decoration on the background. Right, let's crack on. First I'll just decide what size I want this pocket to be. Can't decide if I want to go triangle or straight across. I think I'm just going to go straight across this time. So let me grab some scissors and I'll just cut that out. That's going to go there. I'm going to cut a little notch out of it with circle punch, just to make it look a bit more pockety. Like that. So I'm not going to stick it down just yet. I'm going to do the background first, but that lets me know kind of how much real estate I've got to work with. I think I will just put a tiny little mark there so I know what I'm doing. Good. I want to put something on the background. I have some stencils with a kind of chocolate and coffee theme. So I think I will go with some of these images. I'm gonna need something in a brown. Gathered twigs is always good, and we will have a vintage photo as well for two different ones. So I'll grab a brush and put this about here. Start. I think we'll have the word cappuccino. Where are my lines there? Don't put it under there. Up here. Okay. Something in the vintage photo. Some of the word latte just there. Of course course I've still got gathered twigs on my brush, so it doesn't look any lighter, but you'll forgive these mistakes, I know. Espresso can go down the side. Okay, you can't see that that's vintage photo and not gathered twigs, but I don't care. We move on. What else do I want on there? I've got these coffee bean stencils, which are cute, so I think I'll put some of those on. I'm going to use a darker brown for that. Coffee brown might be a good contender. Let's carry on and use the same brush, why not? Couple more up in the corner. And where's my pocket gone? Do I want anything else? Just one more thing down here, I think. Let's go for coffee peeking out over the top. Good, I like it so far. I am going to give this pocket a bit of a darker edge if I can. I say if I can because it's kind of a plasticky vellum material and is not awfully fond of being inked. But I do have archival, which would hopefully do that job for me. So let's have a go. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Great. I'll just get this stuck down and then I can move on to making my tag. Just pop a couple of cards in there while that dries, just to make sure I've got enough room for my tag when it goes in. Just using this scrap piece of card to tell me how big I want my tag to be so that it'll fit in there comfortably. Then I am going to use this card. It's just the cover off a paper pad, but we don't waste these things. It's a perfectly good piece of cardboard, so that's what I'm going to back this patterned paper with. But this is the width of my tag, so now I've got to choose which parts of the image I'm going to favour for this. So I think I'm going to cut off a little bit of the whatever this machine is. What is that? Some kind of grinder? Something for making coffee, no doubt. And a little bit of that bag on that side will give me the tag I want. So let's just narrow things down a little bit. Okay, let's get this card cut round first. You never know when you might need some pipes, so I'm keeping those. That should be plenty good enough for me to make a journaling card tag out of. So as I said, I'm going to just glue that onto there, and then I can make my tag shape. If you ever make tags, it's very useful to make yourself a little tag template. Something like this, just any old bit of scrap card with edges, corners cut off, and then you can just use that to make sure that you get the same angle on both sides of your tag. Like that. And I know they're going to be even. So, of course, this is going to need a little bit of inking up just to make it look a bit more in keeping with the rest of my page, and I need to put a little hole in there. So that's what I'll be doing next. Can't resist putting on a couple of coffee rings here and there. And maybe some little splotches and spills from my coffee, because I'm a very messy drinker. Yeah, like that. Oh, we're writing all over that, of course, but it'll still show in some respect. Add to the feel of it. Just need my hole in the top there. Somewhere about there. There we go. That's what it looks like on the front. That's what it looks like on the back. I'll just pop some ribbon in the top to finish it off. fold it in half, feed it through the hole, loop it through. And there's my tag. So let's get the journal back in. There's our page. So that will sit just in there like that. And then when I get to this page, all I need to do is whip it out, write my journal entry and pop it back in. Quite pleased with that, but there's always one more thing you can add, and I think what I'm wanting is a cup of coffee or something sitting right there. I've got these again from that 12 by 12 pad. I think I'm going to cut out this one. I left the leaves on because I quite like them. I'm just going to cut the handle out with my craft knife, that's a bit fiddly, and ink the edges and get it stuck down. I did cut through the handle. It's not my first mistake of the day, and there's still time for me to make more, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. Okay, let's glue that down. Do I want to put anything under there, or am I being too fussy? I'm being too fussy. Let's glue it down. I'm going to call that page done. Quite happy with that. I hope you've enjoyed it with me. Thanks as always for being here, and I hope to see you again very soon on my next video.